So when you are ready, this is how you heal. Healing will not be found in the transcendence of your humanity. It will be found in the integration of your humanity. If we were to think about love, unconditional love, which is something that is beyond human nature, but we can aspire towards that. But if we were to just use it as an orientation point, unconditional love is inclusive. It's not conditional. It's not exclusive. It's inclusive. It includes everything. And so we're moving from this paradigm of transcendence to the paradigm of immanence and integration, meaning we are coming down and descending into the body, into our humanity, to spiritualize that, so to speak, to sanctify that, to bring that into the light of our love, our awareness, our consciousness. It's not about getting beyond. You might know this. You might be watching this and go, yeah, I get that. But it's one thing to know that conceptually. It's an entirely different practice to be in the devotion of embodying that. That is a lifelong practice. It's a mountain without a top. You do not water that garden one time. And we can get into the subtle energetics of this, the subtle realms here, because it's even in how we approach ourselves through our healing practices that we can use as a mirror to see our own unconscious blind spots, the way that we're actually perpetuating the aggression and violence that caused the original rupture of our trauma. Because in order to truly start to heal, we have to begin to create new conditions in ourselves. And a lot of people who get into spirituality, a lot of people who get into personal development, a lot of people who get into inner work, it's all from a place of trying to fix oneself. It's all from a very subtle energetic, for a lot of people, of self-judgment. And integration, as a mentor once said to me, cannot occur in judgment. The change starts to happen when we begin to view all of the obstacles and obstructions and blockages and lower vibrations and dense emotions, when we actually start to view those things as the path. They're not in the way of the path, they are the path. And so you start to heal when you realize that nothing needs to be fixed. Nothing about you needs to be changed. You don't need to become something other than what you are. It's about dissolving all of the perceptions that have been imprinted into us from childhood, because as we're developing, our consciousness, our mind, our subconscious mind, all these things are open, and we receive certain imprints about ourselves. And this process that I'm describing, this like process of embodiment, which is, learning how to be in your body, how to process your emotions, how to regulate your nervous system, how to really be with yourself, not mentally, not through meditation. It's a different practice. There's a place for that, but it's a different practice. How to really be with your human. Over time, and it takes time, that's what starts to change the imprinting that we received from childhood. And then from there, we can start to use our practice as an offering to God, to let the tears, the sweat, the cries, the screams, the fear, the panic, to let the alchemy that's happening in your body, to let that be the awakening. Lay that on the altar of your development, of your evolution, of this initiation that it is to be human, and to view it as this is something that always and in all ways is bringing me closer to God, closer to my soul, closer to self, closer to home. And the only way to do that sustainably is to meet the first layer. If you're pissed, let yourself be pissed. If you feel victimized by the world and by life, let yourself feel victimized. That's how we heal. If you're angry, be fucking angry. If you're sad, be fucking sad. And if it's too much, get help. Because this also isn't about pushing yourself into your emotions and feeling your feelings all the way through. Because for a lot of you, you have the nervous system of a baby, of a newborn child. And that's not a judgment, that's just the world we live in. Most of us were never taught these things. We never had a space to process our emotions. So it's not like we're rewiring the nervous system, we're building the capacity to feel for the first time. And when you're trying to feel emotions that are actually too overwhelming for you, nothing's happening. You're just causing suffering because you're not actually digesting that material. It's like giving a flank steak to an infant. And so there's an essence of gentleness, of safety, of care for yourself to truly embody. And you might have heard this, but this not as a concept, but as an embodied practice, to treat yourself the way you would treat a scared, hurt little child, and to hold yourself in the same way you would hold that, or hold a friend, or hold a lover. That's healing. And then from that space, when we fully meet our human without turning away from our human at all, then giving that to God, then calling in the divine, then saying, God, I know this has a purpose. Let this be a medicine. Let this be a medicine. Because then we're not bypassing, but we're also not collapsing into the identification of the story of our trauma, which is not the truth of who we are, that we actually are love, that we actually are divine. But the only way to live that as an actual experience and not as a concept is to go through this process that I'm describing to you. This is the real ascension. Ironically, the real ascension is a descent. We have to descent to re-ascent. That is the process of evolution that's occurring on planet Earth. Talk about New Earth, this is how you do it. This is how it becomes a reality and not a concept. This is how it becomes an actual change in consciousness and not some bypassy, disembodied, dissociated insult to the human heart and to the human vulnerability. This is the only way, in my opinion and experience, that we can truly alchemize the shadow and the wounds that come up in relationships in real time with real people. No matter how spiritual you are, no matter how much of your ego you have transcended. Because if it doesn't filter down into relationships, I don't fucking want it. Throw it out the window. Doesn't do anything. What's it gonna do? It first has to change in here. Yeah. So if you're hearing this message, I truly believe that's for a reason. This is not just another YouTube video where it's like, this is the message if you're ready. Like, no, like there's a specific coding frequency transmitting through this planet on Earth right now, and there are certain people who are picking it up. There are certain people who are paving this new way, who are actually carving this pathway, who are leading the edge. And not in a spiritual ego type of way, but just an objective reality that some people are ready for this and some people are not. Some people are looking for this, some people are not. Some people are attuned to this, and some people are still on that path of orienting towards that place. And so if you're watching this, there is a reason why you are watching this. that we are the ones to bring this specific frequency through for Earth. In embodied spirituality, this means it includes the feminine. That's the body. That's your emotions. That's your human. That's your individuated soul. This was the aspect of the Holy Trinity that was lost in exoteric Christianity, the exoteric Abrahamic religions. The esoteric side, it was never lost. The Kabbalah, esoteric Christianity, Sufism, all these things, they still hold the divine feminine. And the divine feminine is the doorway. The goddess is the doorway to the Father. The mother is the doorway to, so this is going to get a little esoteric. The mother is the doorway to the Son, which is connected to the Father. The Son is the Logos. So I have channels, videos on my channel that go into esoteric Christianity, if that's something you're interested in. And I also want to be mindful and sensitive to anyone who may even be triggered by some of the words I'm using here, and just know that it is not traditional Orthodox ecclesialism religion. So I say that to say, this is how we start to embody the principle of reconciling paradox, of engaging in the alchemical marriage, the union of masculine and feminine in our bodies. Not as some cool philosophy or abstract framework, but a legit process of transformation that trickles down into your everyday life and transforms everything from the ground up, from the inside out. The way you hold yourself, the way you meet yourself, the way you meet other people, the consciousness, the perception that you move through the world with, the attunement that you have, the way you cognize things, it changes everything when we start to bridge these two polarities in us. And it's all done through the body. You cannot do it without the body. The body is the vessel. The body is the laboratory. The body is the foundation for our entire spiritual architecture. And so if we want to get into the game of spirituality, we have to get into the body. If we're going to do it in a true way, if we're going to do it in a deep way, if we're going to do it in a way that actually touches every single part of ourselves and every single part of our lives, this is where it happens. So I welcome you to the path. This is the path of the Rose Grail. This is the path of Hieros Gamos. This is the path of inner union, of divine union, and this will birth new earth. I fully believe that. So if you're here with me, thank you for being here with me. Thank you for being a part of this community. And know that you are not alone. Both in the seen realms and the unseen realms, we are guided, we are protected, always. Even unto the darkest depths, God is here too. Sending you so much love, and I'll catch you on the next video.